The city of Rome was founded by a man raised by a wolf. It may sound like a myth, but according to ancient Roman tradition, this is how one of the greatest cities in history began. More than 2,700 years ago, the Italian peninsula was not dominated by a single powerful state. Instead, the land was filled with small tribes, villages, and growing settlements. In the central part of Italy, near the banks of the Tiber River, several communities lived among hills and fertile valleys. This region would later become the birthplace of Rome. According to legend, the story begins with a royal family. A king named Numitor ruled the ancient city of Alba Longa. But his brother, Amulius, betrayed him. Amulius seized the throne and forced Numitor into exile. To make sure no one could challenge his power in the future, Amulius made a cruel decision. He forced Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a priestess known as a Vestal Virgin. These priestesses were sworn to a life without marriage or children. Eudointis Amulius believed he had eliminated any future heirs to the throne. But according to the ancient legend, something unexpected happened. The Roman god Mars visited Rhea Silvia soon after she gave birth to twin boys. Their names were Romulus and Remus. When Amulius heard about the twins, he became terrified. If the boys grew up, they might challenge his rule and restore their grandfather Numitor to power. Determined to prevent this, Amulius ordered the infants to be killed. Instead of killing them directly, a servant was told to abandon the babies in the Tiber River. The twins were placed inside a small basket and left to drift along the water. But fate had other plans. The basket floated down the river until it became caught along the riverbank. The babies survived. Then, according to the legend, something remarkable happened. A she-wolf heard the cries of the infants and approached the basket. Rather than harming them, the wolf protected them and allowed them to nurse. For a time, the wolf cared for the children in a small cave near the riverbank. Eventually, a shepherd named Faustulus discovered the twins. Realizing the babies had miraculously survived, he took them home. Together with his wife, Faustulus raised the boys as his own sons. Romulus and Remus grew up among shepherds and farmers in the hills near the Tiber. As they grew older, they became known for their strength, courage, and leadership. Many stories say the brothers defended local shepherds from bandits and became natural leaders among the young men of the region. Eventually, the truth about their birth began to emerge. The twins discovered that they were not ordinary shepherds, but the grandsons of the rightful king knew. Realizing what had happened to their family, they decided to take action. Together, Romulus and Remus gathered supporters and marched against King Amulius. In the struggle that followed, Amulius was defeated and killed. With the tyrant removed, Numitor was restored to the throne of Alba Longa. But Romulus and Remus did not remain there. Instead, they chose to build a new settlement near the place where they had been found as infants, along the banks of the Tiber River. The location was ideal. The river provided water and transportation, while the surrounding hills offered protection from enemies. However, the brothers soon disagreed about an important question. Where exactly should the new city be built? Romulus favored the Palatine Hill, while Remus preferred another nearby hill. The argument between them grew more intense, as each brother believed he had the right to rule the future city. According to Roman legend, they attempted to resolve the dispute by observing signs from the gods. These practices, known as rivalry, involved watching birds in the sky to determine divine approval. But even this did not settle the conflict. Tensions continued to rise between the brothers and their followers. Finally, the disagreement turned violent. One version of the story says that Remus mocked the walls Romulus was building for the new city. To show how weak they were, Remus jumped over the walls. Romulus became furious. In the conflict that followed, Romulus killed his own brother. After Remus's death, Romulus continued the construction of the city. According to Roman tradition, this moment marked the founding of Rome in 753 BCE. Romulus became the first king of the new city. In the years that followed, Rome began to grow. Romulus welcomed newcomers from nearby regions, including refugees, travelers, and people seeking new opportunities. As the population increased, Rome developed its first institutions, army, and political structure. From these humble beginnings, the city slowly expanded. Over centuries, Rome would grow from a small settlement on the hills of central Italy into one of the most powerful civilizations the world had ever seen. The Roman Empire would eventually control vast territories across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Yet the story of its origin always returned to the same legend, to abandoned infants, a river, a shepherd, and a she-wolf. Historians today still debate how much of the story is myth and how much might be based on real events. But whether legend or history, the tale of Romulus and Remus remains one of the most famous origin stories ever told, and it all begins with a remarkable claim that the city of Rome was founded by a man raised by a wolf.